Oh, I'm back, and we're talking with Bob Newhart. I asked you about Catch-22 before, but maybe it's long past now. But you were one of the people who was down there in the desert for weeks and living with Gila monsters.
Well, I was actually. It's not. I was lucky because I got to come back several times. But there, like Alan Arkin and Dick Benjamin, Paul Apprentice, were down there all the time. And the highest rate of suicide is in San Francisco and Switzerland. They're very pretty countries, and beauty has an effect on people, apparently. And it was beautiful as opposed to certain parts of Mexico, like they said Durango was a very bad location. This was not a terrible location, but it was so stark that people were going, like we're going crazy, but no one knew it because we were all together, so there was nothing to measure it against.
No normal backdrop to judge. Yeah.
And Norm Fell and I came back from about 3 weeks off, and we were on the plane going down to Tucson, where then we flew Aeronaves from Tucson to Guaymas, which was a flight I never cherished, Aeronaves, because the entire cockpit of the Aeronaves plane is a shrine. It's all religious medals and rosaries. It was sort of in the hands of someone else, I had the feeling. The pilots really did no other. And he said, what do you think the stories will be? And I said, well, I don't think there'll be any stories. It'll come out gradually. Yeah. So we got back down there, and we said, well, what happened, while we were gone? And they said, well, nothing, really pretty quiet. They had one day we didn't get a shot because the sun was. And 2 weeks later, we were having dinner in the hotel, and someone said, I have to go to Guaymas this week because I haven't been there since the elephant's funeral. And both Norm and I knew there were no elephants native to
that part of the world. Right.
And they explained. They said, "Oh, that's right, you weren't here." But it turned out there was a circus going from Hermosillo to Guaymas, and they were carrying the elephant on a flatbed truck, and it turned around the corner, and the elephant kind of leaned, and a Greyhound bus ran right into the elephant, and killed the elephant.
So that was actually something that happened.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see that every day. Say, speaking of strange things, would you ever go back into weekly television again with all you know about it? And I had a feeling when you finished, you didn't want to do that anymore.
Well, no, the feeling was I was unprepared, really, for it. I mean, it was, thank you. I'm going to do a series. I'm doing a pilot, which hopefully will become a series. A different kind of situation, comedy as opposed to live. But I was, shortly after my record happened in 1960, I was approached to do a series that year, a live variety show, and there was no reason to believe that I would be able to do it. I mean, but I just happened to have a hot record, so they approached me. And I waited a year and did a show and still wasn't ready for it. I mean, it's something you have to spend years in the business learning the mistakes that other people made before you can do it. I'm very proud of the show. It was a good show. But part of the problem with the show with me, I felt. I mean, because you just...
And now you're old and wise enough, though, you think, to...
I don't want to travel that much.
Yeah.
I'm selling out, Dick, is really what it is.
Is that what it is? Lost all your principles, all your standards? Yeah. But do you have that complaint that people, when they come from New York out here, often have, that they don't feel they work as hard because they're more relaxed out here and they don't produce as well?
I don't. I found I work better in New York. I was doing a show in New York called The Entertainers with Carol Burnett, and because of the weather, you constantly make excuses about being able to do it tomorrow and I'll play golf or something or lie by the pool. And I mean, ideally, the best show would be from, say, Seattle, where it rains all the time.
Or maybe the North Pole.
But you can name on one hand the number of great shows from Seattle, network shows.
I can't remember more than 2 or 3 right now. Come to think of it. You know, something bothered me in Catch-22. You disappeared out the window in your scene, and you never reappeared.
That was the end of my appearance, yes.
Oh, that's probably why you never reappeared.
I had no more lines. That's why. If I had more lines, I would have been in the picture later on.
Well, let's take this message. Forgot. We'll be right back. Stay where you are.